Anger TV.
It gladdens my heart to say that teachers are impacting lives and discovering talents. But it saddens my heart to say that we are not motivated. We are being exploited in the system and then broken into pieces. That is what I can say. Over the years, we've been talking about Teacher Service Commission, that teachers not to be paid in the integrated pay scale. Instead, teachers to be paid with what we call the service, teachers' payment to be determined by the Service Commission, just as that of the Judicial Service Commission, because that is what we deserve. We rough rate on our take home, which is small, and take faith over it. And then my question is, at the level of the National Assembly, because I know that you are doing extremely well, I always follow the cities. At the level of the National Assembly, I do not know whether you are in the center stage of approving the Education Service Commission, which is formerly the Teacher Service Commission, because good teachers are in the system, but good teachers are leaving. And then count myself in, that even upon completion of my bachelor's degree program, I may leave the teaching field because there's no motivation. Thank you.
Thank you, the best teacher. Thank you for that wonderful question. The question is straightforward and very, very simple.
Anger TV.
The Teacher Service Commission, like the nation, function in a way which is very, very funny. You have a ministry, that is the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. Most of the people don't understand that at times National Assembly, in fact National Assembly, in most cases we don't draft the bills. We don't come up with bills. Now, you have a ministry, and that ministry, their primary responsibility is to actually fight for your right, to defend you, to stand for you, to know what you want, what you should have, what you should not have, how to improve your life. And I can remember telling this to the former minister, that as a ministry, you have to come up with bills that will improve the living standard of teachers. To mention was the clothing allowance. I justified it, and everybody understood at the time. Then, right now, we are talking about Teachers Commission. But as National Assembly, we cannot come up, and it cannot come under private member bill. It's out of question. Why? Because if it have financial attachment in it, then automatically it cannot come as a private member bill. Because one, I cannot have that money to pay. Now, it can only come through a ministry, through negotiation with the cabinet and the Ministry of Finance, to ascertain whether they will be able to actually finance it or not. Now, but the pressure should come from the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education to tell them that we want to come up with this. That is the Teacher Service Commission, whatever it is. This is what we want to come up with, and we want to effect it, and we want it to pass through the National Assembly. Then when it comes to the National Assembly, I can tell I'm the Vice Chair of the Select Committee on Education and CTT. Then we also take it as a matter upon us. Then we will defend it. Once the committee agrees, then we will take it to plenary. And then we will try to convince the plenary. Immediately plenary accept, then it comes a law. But we cannot never do it if it does not come from the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. We can only serve as an advice to them that bring this, but we can't force them to do it. And it's definitely a needed thing. And I can tell you, time without numbers, I have been telling them, come up with something, come up with something. But to be very honest with you, since I entered into Parliament, the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education have not come up with anything. Anything, nothing absolutely. That I can tell you for free. But the Ministry of Higher Education came up with so many things, which is actually improving with the passage of time. Even said it is less, but it is moving gradually, because a nation, it has to go through a process before we finish building a nation.